The observation deck of the Galactic Unity Station had never been so silent. 23 delegates from 12 different species stood frozen, their eyes locked on the scene unfolding in the containment chamber below. Through the reinforced glass, they watched as Rhea, the human representative, knelt beside the litter of Vrexy cubs, her movements slow and deliberate. The Vrexy were apex predators from the volcanic world of Tar. Adults stood 9 feet tall, possessed retractable claws that could slice through combat armor, and had bite forces measured in tons per square inch. Their cubs, though smaller, were no less dangerous. 3 months old and already the size of Earth wolves, they were bundles of muscle, teeth, and instinct. "She should not be in there," hissed Ambassador Trellick, his chitinous plates clicking nervously. "The Vrexy young are not domesticated. They are weapons in training." Captain Vaughn, the station's security chief, a hulking Crothian with 4 arms and battle scars crossing his gray hide, nodded grimly. "The cubs have already injured 2 handlers this cycle. Both are in medical. One nearly lost an arm. But Rhea had insisted. The human delegation had been clear. If humanity was to join the Galactic Council, they needed to prove they could handle the realities of interspecies cooperation. That included dealing with the Vrexy, whose warrior culture demanded respect earned through strength, not diplomacy. In the chamber, Rhea extended her hand toward the smallest cub, a mottled gray youngster she had named Kira. He was the runt of the litter, pushed aside by his larger siblings during feeding times. His crimson eyes tracked her movement with predatory focus. "Easy, little one," Rhea murmured, her voice barely audible through the intercom. "I'm not here to hurt you." Kira's lips peeled back, revealing rows of needle-sharp teeth. A low growl rumbled from his chest, a sound that would have sent most species scrambling for the exit. On the observation deck, several delegates stepped backward instinctively. Rhea didn't move. She kept her hand extended, palm up, fingers relaxed. Patient. Waiting. "What is she doing?" squeaked Dr. Mara, the plenary medical officer, her 6 tentacles coiled anxiously around her spherical body. "That posture signals submission. The cub will attack." But Kira didn't attack. Not immediately. He crept forward, one massive paw at a time. His movements were cautious. His nostrils flared, sampling Rhea's scent. The chamber's environmental systems carried the smell to the observation deck sensors. Adrenaline, yes, but also something else. Something the automated translator labeled as contentment pheromones. The human was calm. Kira sniffed Rhea's fingers. Then, in a movement so fast it was almost invisible, he lunged forward and clamped his jaws around her sleeve. The observation deck erupted into chaos. "Security team, deploy." Captain Vaughn barked into his communicator. "No, wait!" shouted Dr. Harlow, the other human in the delegation. "Look at her." Everyone froze again, their attention snapping back to the chamber. Rhea hadn't screamed. She hadn't pulled away. Instead, she was tugging back. Not hard, not aggressively, but with steady, playful resistance. Her face broke into a wide smile, and she made a sound that the translator struggled to categorize. Something between a laugh and a gentle growl. What is this behavior?" Ambassador Trellick whispered. "She's playing," Dr. Harlow explained, his own smile growing. "On Earth, human young engage with predator species this way. Dogs, cats. They learn social boundaries through play fighting. She's teaching Kira that she's not prey, but she's also not a threat. She's a companion." In the chamber, Kira yanked harder on Rhea's sleeve, his tail lashing with excitement. Rhea tugged back, letting him pull her slightly off balance before resisting again. The cub's growl shifted in pitch, less threatening and more playful. The other cubs noticed. One by one, they abandoned their positions around the chamber and padded toward Rhea. Soon, all 5 were engaged in the game, each trying to grab a piece of her clothing or equipment harness. Rhea laughed, a genuine, joyful sound that echoed through the intercom. She released Kira's prize and immediately grabbed another cub's paw, initiating a gentle wrestling match. The cubs responded with enthusiasm, their earlier aggression transforming into something that looked almost like fun. "Impossible," Captain Vaughn breathed. "Those cubs put 2 trained handlers in medical, and this human is playing with them." "Not impossible," corrected Elder Shakura, the Vrexy matriarch, who had been silent until now. Her massive form dominated one corner of the observation deck, her scarred face unreadable. "Effective. Watch how she moves. She never presents her throat, never exposes her vital organs, but she also never shows fear. She acknowledges their strength without submission." She paused, searching for the word. This is the way of warriors building trust. Below, Rhea had shifted tactics. She had retrieved a length of synthetic rope from her equipment belt and was dragging it across the floor. Instantly, all 5 cubs gave chase, pouncing and tumbling over each other in their eagerness to catch the prey. Their play growls filled the chamber, but there was no real violence in it, just the exuberant energy of young predators learning to hunt. "How long has she been studying Vrexy behavior?" Elder Shakura asked, her tone grudgingly respectful. "She hasn't," Dr. Harlow admitted. "Rhea is a xenobiologist, but her specialty is earth mammals. She's applying principles she learned working with wolf pups and lion cubs in conservation programs." "You're saying she learned this technique from your world's predators?" Trellick's vocal sac inflated with surprise. "Earth has many apex predators. Humans evolved alongside them. We learned to coexist, to communicate, even to form partnerships. That's why we domesticated wolves into dogs. Why we can handle creatures that would terrify most spacefaring species. It's in our nature." In the chamber, Kira had collapsed onto his back, exhausted from play. Rhea knelt beside him and gently scratched the softer fur of his belly, a gesture of trust that would normally result in severe injury. But Kira simply yawned, his massive jaws stretching wide, and closed his eyes. Within minutes, all 5 cubs were dozing around Rhea, their bodies relaxed and their breathing steady. She sat among them like a calm center in a storm of predatory potential, her smile never wavering. Elder Shakura made a sound that might have been a laugh or perhaps a growl of approval. "The human has done in 1 hour what our handlers could not achieve in 3 months. She has earned the cubs' trust." The matriarch turned to face the assembled delegates. "I withdraw my objection to humanity's council membership. Any species that can turn our warriors' children into playmates is either too foolish to fear or too dangerous to oppose." She bared her teeth. "I believe it is the latter." Captain Vaughn deactivated the emergency protocols. Dr. Mara uncurled her tentacles. Slowly, the tension in the observation deck dissipated, replaced by something like awe. Below, Rhea looked up at the observation window and gave a small wave. Kira, still drowsy, maintained his grip on her now tattered sleeve, not in aggression but in contentment. The message was clear. Humanity had arrived among the stars, and they had brought with them a gift that no other species possessed: the ability to see potential friends in even the most dangerous of creatures. The galaxy, whether it realized it yet or not, would never be the same.